Hello, it's Mary Hurdle from Made by Marnie with another paper piecing tip. And this month it's about how to add stripes into a paper piece pattern and get those stripes to go exactly in the direction you want. Hello, this is Mary Hurdle from Made by Marnie Patterns, and I'm here today to do another one of my instructional videos about paper piecing. If you've been following along with the American Quilter magazine, the Made by Marnie collectible series started in 2025 with this pattern, Be My Honey, in the January-February issue, and then followed up the next issue with Somebody Loves You, which was in the March-April issue. And I had a series of videos giving you tips and tricks about paper piecing on YouTube. You can find them by going to the little Scan Me button at the bottom of the page. This is the pattern that will be in the May-June issue of American Quilter, and it is a butterfly with a daisy. And this video is going to be showing how to add a striped fabric when you're paper piecing, which can be rather tricky because, as we learned in video number 1 about the butterfly effect, you sew your piece in place and then you flip it into position. And by doing that, your fabric can go in a different wonky direction, maybe not the direction you want it. So let me show you how I would go about doing that by pretending that now here in the daisy, instead of this fabric, I want to use a striped fabric, which I think would look really sharp. And I'm making my daisy petals all using that striped fabric. So let me show you how I would do that. I'm working on, if you look, I'm doing this section right here where the daisy is. And I'm just going to be using these two pieces. The F pieces would go here. That's the F segment, and the J segment. And just by showing you these two segments, I think you'll catch on to the idea. So generally when I'm designing a pattern, if there's going to be a stripe needed, I try to make that fabric go under piece number 1, because if you do that, all you need is, here's my striped fabric. I'm putting the back of the fabric on the back of the paper because this is my very first piece. And I folded this back already just so I can see which direction I want my stripes to all go that way, parallel to the top of that petal. So I'm lining this up on the back of my fabric. I can see the stripes right through the fabric, and I would just place that in place the way I want it and then pin it down. And here's my pin. Pin it on, trim off what I don't need, and then continue to add piece 2 and piece 3. And that way the stripe is easy to place. However, in this piece, in J, look how this is different. J, number 3 is going to be the petal. That's the third piece I have to place in my segment. That's going to be tricky. So what I'm going to do is, first I would, of course, paper piece 1 and 2 in place, and now I'm ready for 3. See, piece 1 and 2 are already done. So I want my stripes, see how they're going, oopsie, on the diagonal like this? I want my stripes to go from here this way, and I'm going to mark that on my pattern with a nice thick black Sharpie, because a Sharpie will soak through that cheap paper and I'll see that line behind it. But I want to get rid of some of that fabric first. So of course I've got to bend back on piece number 3. We learned how to do this in my first instructional video on the butterfly effect. I'm going to trim off. You can use a radial cutter and a ruler, or just trim it to 1/4 inch. And now I'm ready to place. You can see that stripe, right? Perfect. Take your fabric. Here's the right side of the fabric. And that is the right side. I'm going to line up this line this line that's showing through from the sketch, the black Sharpie, I'm going to line that up so it's lined up with my stripes. And if you need to fold it back to help you line it up, you can do that just to place it. And where I put it is important. If I put it here, there's no fabric under it. Then when I flip it, it won't all be covered. This is the piece I'm doing right here, piece 3. So I need it down far enough, but why aren't I putting it over here? I could. No, I can't, because now there's no fabric there. That's right. Got to catch it. So if I put it here, this is my sewing line. There will be it's parallel to my stripes. There will be fabric under the whole petal. I am going to have some waste, because normally I line it up right with the straight edge. I can't do that with the stripe if I want the stripe to go where I want it. Now I'm going to open it up, take it to my sewing machine, and sew on the line between pieces 1 and 2 and 3. Right there. And 1/4 of an inch longer, which I've already done here. So I just sewed that. It was like this. I sewed it. I open it to here. And now I'm going to cut off. See where the seam was? That's how you can figure out where to cut it, because the old seam is still showing. Cut that off. That's your scrap. And now you're going to flip it and press it with your iron, and that stripe is perfectly placed just where it needs to be. And so that's how you place your stripes. Of course, now I would trim this off, add piece 4, and then you're good to go on to the next segment. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you've learned something fun, and make sure you get this adorable pattern for spring and summer in the May and June issue 2025 of American Quilter. Thank you.